one of the most dangerous civilian jobs in one of the world's most dangerous countries: translating Arabic for the U.S. military in Iraq.
We cannot walk in the street because all the street have the ID bumps, so we use the roofs. We was jumping from roof to roof to do the patrol. What we do is start like 3 morning. We jump to this house from the roof and we go down. We broke the lock and they sleeping and they wake up them and okay, we need the names and everyone who's living here. And people just scare the kids crying and we keep jumping and doing this for each house. People scared, they don't know who's jumping in their roof, what's going on. And they just lock the door and they sleeping and they just go inside. He cannot do anything because he worry about his family, but they not understand this is my job. And they look to me very, very badly. And we stay until the helicopters come and they take us back to the camp.
The United States military operation in Iraq began with virtually zero capacity to interpret the Arabic language, Iraqi customs, or social mores. With no effective means of communication, the relationship between coalition forces and civilians deteriorated quickly. In an effort to bridge the communication gap, many Iraqis were recruited to translate for U.S. and coalition forces. Their language skills, coupled with their understanding of local culture and customs, made them a vital asset on the battlefield.
The American soldier on the Iraqi soil, he is in a very difficult situation. He have no clue about the culture of those people, what they feel, what's make them sad, what make them happy, what they make them proud of themselves, what make them feeling humiliated, and he doesn't know the language, so he cannot differentiate, hey, kill him, and hey, give him some water. Both of those messages just sounds for him.
They just choose me because I live in this city. I know a lot of the people there, I know about it, so I was like helpful for them from other ways, not about the translator. I was give them all the information about the city and tell them who's good, who's bad.
I got a phone call from my brother. He said that my father had been killed. He was visiting a US base because he was driving a contractor there. And when he got out of the base, he had been ambushed by terrorists. That was the very first day that I think seriously I need to take action and join the US military.
They was needing for a translator, like they need us in the area, like nobody wanna work. I work in a place of interpreter. He just got killed by a sniper. If you get killed, how are they gonna communicate? You are very important for the unit who goes outside to, do patrolling or raid. So if you get killed, they're not gonna be able to go outside. They will go outside, but they're not gonna be able to communicate.
When the Iraqi war in 2003 started, I found there was a need to be a translator working with the troops. The first group, when they went to Iraq, they knew how to fight. They were not equipped with any cultural understanding. Young people went to Iraq, did not know anything about the culture, did not know anything about these people. So I started working as an Arabic teacher and culture consultant, teaching the troops about Iraqi culture and telling them the importance to know the culture of the place that you go, so you can have a better communication with them.
A lot of the American soldiers, they are trying to communicate with the Iraqi people in English language. So, hey dude, go back and stay there. There is certain cultural messages that by mistake or because the American side, they don't know about that culture, they're gonna say something culturally gonna offend the other part. As a translator, you have to hold that part. You either gonna find equivalent for it in Iraqi culture, or you're just gonna delete it.
Sometimes it's a personal thing for the soldiers there to see same people working in different way. People trying to attack them and people working with them and help them. As a matter of fact, I didn't help US military. I helped my country by helping them.
Hytham facilitated communication because he communicated with the people. A lot of the interpreters were just mouthpieces. I would say something, they'd repeat it and then repeat back what the Iraqi said. But Hytham engaged and talked to them on his own. The conversation would already be going by the time I got there. He was already doing those cultural necessities to make people relax, make them feel ready to talk by the time I got there. And by the time I got there, we were able to, get down to business.
It's not just a language, it's not just a couple of words that you learn, it's also the understanding of their culture, because you are in their land now and you need to know. In order to save your life, there's a lot of mistakes happen that people paid their life because of that.
There was one village south of Haditha, and it was kind of the command and control center for the insurgency in that area. There was one sheikh in particular that we knew was running the show. The majority of the weapons caches that we were finding were all in this village, and it was my area of responsibility. It happened to be where I was responsible for patrolling. So Hytham and I would have almost daily meetings with this sheikh and his son, talking about what we needed to do to come to a truce, for them to stop hitting us every day with IEDs, and for us to stop kicking their doors down and raiding their homes in the middle of the night. This sheikh was the first guy to openly look me in the eye and say, "We hate you and we're going to fight you until the day you leave, so just get used to it. Stop asking me if we're going to be friends." And I finally said, "Wow, that's great. It's finally great to meet somebody who's actually going to tell me the truth. And now that we know that, and you know that I'm not leaving, what are we going to do to stop this so that you don't end up in jail and I don't end up maimed?" And with Hytham as the translator, we were able to facilitate somewhat of a truce in that, okay, we're not going to kick down your doors in the middle of the night anymore, but I need to be able to drive on this road and know that I'm not going to get blown up. And Hytham was instrumental in making that happen.
Sometimes when we capture people and we interrogate them, it's like if I said he's not a good guy, he will be gone. We will arrest him, and that will affect his family and his life. And of course, I'm translating, but there's, as a culture things, I'm feeling if that guy is lying or not lying. So I can advise my commander, saying that guy, he's saying this way, but he didn't mean that way. He meant different way, and that's wrong, and he is lying. I could destroy his life. I could send him to jail for 5 years. If I said, oh, he's fine, and I believed him, he could be a very dangerous terrorist, but he's a good liar.
The American citizen translators were making a great deal of money, way more than I was making. So if it was an Iraqi guy from here, he was probably making 6 figures or more. It was the guys who were recruited off the street in Najaf and things like that, who weren't making very much by our standards, but they were making way more than the average Iraqi on the street. They were making quite a bit of money compared to their counterparts at home.
The only thing that used to scare me was if I've been not killed entirely, because in Iraq it's completely different. So if I've become disabled there, they will either pay me insurance, a kind of fixed amount, and that's it, forget about it, or you may not get anything at all.
There is no way to say, I cannot work with you guys anymore, or I want to change. If I say I cannot work with you guys, they say, okay, go outside. And when I go outside, everyone knows I'm translator because they see me in a foot patrol with the soldiers, so I'll be killed. So I don't want to be killed, so I just stay. And one day I tried to change my job, like stay as translator, but change from group to other group because there's this other translator, he fight with me because I'm gay and he's Iraqi and he feel I'm ashamed to him. And he hit me by big stick and he broke my arm here. I cannot go to the company to tell them because they will fire me and put my name in a blacklist, and they put a lot of translator their names in a blacklist, and when they get this, they cannot work anymore. They just threw them outside the camp.
In any operation, if it's a humanitarian operation, military operation, you need to have the tools of communication, and when that tool of communication is not working well or it's not sufficient, you cannot reach your goal.
2004, all the people, they came from different countries like Iran. They send people and they make their own militias and what they call Mahdi army. And this is how I cannot get home because of them. They just said we will kill everyone who was working with Americans or helping them.
You are a trader, that's a very big thing, especially for the culture over there. That's what they consider you as a trader. Somebody find out I work with the military. They come to the house and they break the car, they break the windows. They know who my parents are and they call me, they told me never come back, don't try to stay there. Like, we love you, but just don't come back anymore because you will get killed. I basically destroy their life. Now everybody in some other area, they cannot go back home. And they already tell them, if he's not gonna come back, we're gonna kill you. Like, right away. So they call me, tell me, hey, don't ever come back home. Don't ever come back home. Like, stay in touch and we love you and we will take care of ourselves.
There is no threat, there is a killing. They will kill you right away. And that was what I used to tell the US soldiers when I worked with them. Nobody will leave a letter on the front of your door. They will kill you right away. They will just smash your door if you are inside, and they will drag you, and they will do horrible things before they kill you. And if you are lucky, they will kill you right away.
Once they left, they were totally on their own. Most of them wouldn't work in the areas that they were from. A lot of them were from Baghdad, or they were Shia from the south of Iraq, and they were working in the Sunni Triangle. When they'd go on vacation, they'd get on a bus and take a bus back to a different area. So they were completely on their own. There was no protection for them.
You know, when you translate or you go home. And when you go from base to home, there's people in the street. Like when I used to go back home, I have a pistol. Every time somebody walked by me, my hand on my pistol, because you don't know who's gonna pull his gun and put a bullet on you. And until this moment, when somebody walked behind me, I just slowed down. I don't want anybody behind me. You don't know if you're gonna put a gun in your back and shoot you, because you know that you work with Americans.
There is a culture that we have in the camp. If you are a translator with me, and every night I'm going with you in a mission, and we might get killed. You cannot ask me, hey, what is your real name? Because we all goes with fake names. Even the phone numbers that we have, we don't save the names of that person. Until now, that thing is haunting me. I never save a number of any person that I know on my cell phone. And it is funny when somebody says that, hey, why you are not saving the cell phone number? I said, this is a habit that I get it back when I was in the camp. In case that I went outside and the terrorists kidnapped me and they're gonna torture me, they are not gonna see any saved number on it.
Inside the family, even you cannot talk about that. My daughter did not know that I was working as interpreter before we moved to the United States, and after weeks, months, she was kind of have the awareness. But before that, whenever we talk, I was engineer working north of Iraq with a company that's working for some projects and nothing to do with the US military. So even inside your family, you cannot talk about that.
You are the second person in a house and you take your point in the room and you clear your corner. You have to translate for the American side phrases like, hey, Team Alpha goes to the other room. You and you goes to that room. Hey, did you find anything in that room? Hey, I heard somebody is running in that room. Arrest this guy. Don't hesitate in shooting in a person that is trying to shoot you. You can face a person gonna shoot at you. You're gonna face a person who's gonna try to hurt you. And you're gonna face a person who's ready to blow up himself and you and the house.
We wearing same uniform with the Marines, same weapons, so they don't know who's American, who's translator. And even if I'm just translator, he will kill me too. They put the bombs things, the explosive things, ideas inside the cow, and you cannot see it. It's a dead cow, and the cow was in the middle of the street, and when we all in the middle of this cow and the explosion. And I hit my legs. I stay like almost a month in a hospital, in a camp.
The terrorists, they understand the importance of the role of the translator. If they can kill a translator, that means they're gonna terrorize 30 other translators, and nobody gonna work with the American troops. So the American troops gonna be working by themselves. Maybe they're gonna end up arresting the wrong person, or they're gonna end up to react in a certain situation, and that reaction gonna get more and more misunderstanding because there is no translator.
My friend, he go on mission like at nighttime, and we hear boom. Some guy come back and he say, I'm sorry, like your guy, he got blow up with us, and we lost 2 soldiers, and he was one of the guy, he died in a Humvee.
I have a friend of mine, he's a translator, and there was in a checkpoint, and someone come and bomb them all, and we get like Americans killed, and my friend also, he died.
A lot of translators paid their life doing this job. It wasn't just a job for them, it was a part to help their country, to rebuild their country, to start a new life. And they were trying their best to do this for their people.
99% of the Iraqi people were not planning to attack any American troops. Even if they are against the pretext that it is being used to come to Iraq, they are not going to use force at all. Those people, they are really tired of fighting and war.
Every country have bad things and good things. When you saying everybody is bad or this country is bad country, that's wrong to say, because there's a lot of good people in this country. Some people really want to help, and there's some people afraid to help, and some people they don't care to help. So I really want to thank them for what they did, especially when they put their parents, their families in immediate danger to do that job and to sacrifice themselves to do that job. It's not like something we trained to be. Soldiers are trained to be in a battle, and Marines are trained to be in a battle. We're not trained to be anything.
I like United States. I like the people of United States. If the government do some kind of mistakes toward my country or other countries, that will not put us in the way that we should hate each other. If history get me back to the same point, same day that I should think or rethink about my choices, I will not change it.
It's important that we do remember these guys and what they've sacrificed and what they're willing to do for us and how much they've actually given to us to help, I don't want to say win these wars because we haven't necessarily won them yet or may never, but they help keep Americans alive and they helped us accomplish our mission, and we couldn't have done it without them. So anything we can do to return that is definitely worthwhile.
I wish I never left home, and the people I love, if it's not was dangerous in my life, I don't want to be killed in front of my family, in front of my door, like what the other friends happened to them. I don't want to make my mother lose other person in the family, so I just go away, be safe. It's just a new life for me now here. I'm not thinking to come back as translator and see what I saw before.
The time that I want to go back home, I would say I worked to build my country when I was working with the US military as engineer and interpreter. And I would say that proudly, with no fear. That will be the time that I can go back home. It's kind of scary to think about it now, but who knows? You never know.
After more than 7 years, the United States of America will end its combat mission in Iraq and take an important step forward in responsibly ending the Iraq War. But the bottom line is this: the war is ending. Like any sovereign, independent nation, Iraq is free to chart its own course, and by the end of next year, all of our troops will be home. As we mark the end of America's combat mission in Iraq, a grateful nation must pay tribute to all who have served there. Because part of responsibly ending this war is meeting our responsibility to those who have fought it.
While the full scale of violence toward interpreters will likely never be known, it is certain that Iraqi translators have been abducted, tortured, and forced to flee as a result of their collaboration. Existing plans call for all American forces to withdraw from Iraq by December of 2011. Terrorist organizations have made clear references to steadily and patiently targeting U.S.-affiliated Iraqis in the wake of our departure.